Welcome to the Senior Techie Podcast. I want to start by setting a scene that is, well, I think it's incredibly common.
Oh, absolutely.
And maybe you've been in this exact position yourself. You walk into a local animal shelter and, the air smells slightly of that disinfectant.
Right. And you always hear that echo of barking down the hall.
Yes, exactly. And you stop in front of a cage, you look down, and there is this dog. And its tail is wagging so hard that its entire body is just wiggling.
Oh, it's the best. That immediate emotional pull.
It really is. You just think, I absolutely love this dog. But then almost immediately, this little voice in the back of your head whispers, can I actually keep up with this animal for the next 12 years?
Yeah, and that is a really heavy realization to have right in the middle of a very warm emotional moment.
It is. It feels awful.
It does. But, we've pulled together this massive stack of recent geriatric research, veterinary studies, and, of course, the latest technology reviews from the Senior Techie. And the data makes it incredibly clear that having that doubt isn't, it's not a silly worry at all.
No, not at all.
It's actually a vital piece of self-awareness. Because the physiology of companionship is fascinating. When you pet an animal, your brain releases oxytocin.
Right, the bonding hormone.
Exactly. And at the exact same time, it lowers cortisol, which is your primary stress hormone. So that's the biological reason we crave pets so much.
Right, it physically makes us feel better.
It does. But, and this is the big catch, if you bring home an animal whose energy levels wildly exceed your own, the sheer anxiety of trying to care for it completely negates all of those physiological benefits.
Wow, so the stress actually cancels out the good stuff.
Precisely. Because, let's be honest, you are simply not the exact same person who maybe raised 3 kids and a bouncing Labrador Retriever all at the same time 30 years ago.
Right. Our bodies change, right? Your knees might complain a bit more on the stairs now.
Yeah.
And your weekly schedule probably includes a few more doctor visits, or maybe you just honestly enjoy a slower, quieter morning now.
Exactly, which is why your first instinct, when you realize, hey, I can't jog 3 miles a day with a golden retriever anymore, sometimes the instinct is to just give up on the idea of a dog entirely.
Yeah, just throw in the towel. But the veterinary studies we reviewed actually suggest a completely different approach.
Yes, they do.
If you still really want that daily walk and cuddle relationship, the solution isn't to say goodbye to dogs. It's to, change the type of dog. We have to match the energy to the age.
I love that phrase, match the energy to the age. Because the breeds that consistently show up in recommendations for older adults, they actually share a specific genetic history.
Right, we're not talking about working dogs here.
No, definitely not. We are looking at dogs bred over centuries, specifically for calm temperaments and low-energy outdon, not for hunting or herding sheep. Take the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, for instance.
Oh, they're so sweet.
They really are. Their historical breeding purpose was quite literally just to be a companion. That's it. So they are incredibly affectionate, their energy demands are naturally very low, and they adapt beautifully to apartment living or just smaller homes.
Because they don't have that biological drive to, patrol a huge territory.
Exactly. And then you have the Bichon Frise.
Oh, right. The little white fluffy ones.
Yes. They have a very cheerful disposition. They require minimal exercise. And crucially, they have a hypoallergenic coat.
Which is huge because if your immune system or your allergies have become a bit more sensitive over the years, a dog that produces less dander is just a massive advantage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the Shih Tzu is another excellent choice. They are sturdy little dogs, but their activity requirements are very low, so they make phenomenal lap companions.
Yeah, and the benefit of these specific breeds isn't just about their resting heart rate or their calm temperament.
Right.
We really have to consider the physical biomechanics of pet ownership, because these dogs are physically small enough to lift safely.
That is such a critical point.
It is. If you think about trying to boost a 70-pound dog into the back seat of an SUV when your lower back is acting up, you are putting immense strain on your spine. It's a major injury risk. But a 15-pound Cavalier...
Oh, you can just scoop them right up.
Exactly. You can lift them without compromising your center of gravity at all. And the leash mechanics are a huge factor, too.
Yeah, the fall risks.
Right. The geriatric studies we looked at highlight fall risks as a primary concern for seniors owning large dogs. Because if a 70-pound dog decides to just lunge at a squirrel on a walk, the kinetic energy traveling down that leash is enough to pull a full-grown adult right off the sidewalk.
It happens all the time, sadly.
Yeah. But with a Shih Tzu, if they pull on the leash to sniff a fire hydrant, Your hands, even if they're arthritic, can easily manage that tension without risking a catastrophic fall. And we actually have this great anecdote from the source materials about this. A friend of one of the authors went out and adopted a cavalier from a rescue, but they specifically chose an older one.
Oh, skipping the puppy phase entirely.
Yes. By doing that, they completely skipped the dreaded chewed shoe phase. They brought home a dog that was already settled, already knew the rules of the house, and honestly, its primary goal in life was just to sit on the couch and watch television.
Which is perfect. But it does bring up a very pragmatic point about daily routines.
How so?
Well, because even a perfectly calm 15-pound senior dog still has biological needs.
Right. They still have to go to the bathroom.
Exactly. They need to go outside. So if your needs are really troubling you, or if you simply, do not want to navigate wet, slippery stairs at 6 in the morning because it's pouring rain outside and the dog needs to go out, you really need an animal that manages its own bathroom routine indoors.
Which naturally leads us to cats.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Cats provide that warm, comforting presence. They give you someone to talk to, but they operate with a very high degree of physical autonomy.
Yeah, that 6 a.m. rain walk is definitely a deal breaker for a lot of people. But, I do want to push back a little on the idea that cats are automatically this perfect, low-effort solution.
That's fair. Why is that?
Because even the laziest older cat still requires a baseline of physical care that can be surprisingly demanding. I mean, you still have to bend down to the floor to scoop a litter box every single day.
Right.
And you have to lift those heavy 20-pound boxes of litter at the grocery store, carry them out to your car, and haul them into your house. If you have severe arthritis or if your balance is compromised, managing a litter box on the floor is a genuine physical hurdle.
That is a very valid point.
And not to mention, for folks with compromised immune systems, the risk of toxoplasmosis from handling cat waste is a real medical consideration. So what do we do if your current physical limits make even a cat feel like too much of a risk?
That is a great challenge. And you're right, the physical realities of the litter box are often totally glossed over. When bending and lifting just becomes unsafe, we need to scale down the physical demands entirely.
Okay, so what are the options?
We look at feathers and fins. Birds, for instance, are a phenomenal and very often overlooked option.
Really?
Birds. Yeah. A parakeet or a cockatiel brings a really vibrant, living energy into a quiet room. The auditory stimulation, just hearing a bird singing, can severely cut through the silence of a house.
Oh, I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, and psychological studies show that breaking that silence is a major factor in combating feelings of isolation. Plus, their physical footprint is contained entirely to a cage that sits at waist or chest level.
Oh, meaning no bending down to the floor.
Exactly. No bending required.
I hear you on the birds, but let's talk about fish, because I think fish get a really bad reputation.
They do. People think they're boring.
Right. A lot of people dismiss fish as just living decorations. They think, well, it doesn't greet me at the door, it doesn't sit on my lap, so what is the point?
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
But I think that completely misses the proven medical benefits. The research we reviewed from environmental psychology actually shows that there is a measurable physiological response to just watching fish glide through an aquarium.
Really? Measurable?
Yes. It actively lowers your blood pressure and reduces your resting heart rate. That is exactly why you see large aquariums in so many dental offices and hospital waiting rooms.
Oh, that makes total sense. The clinical term for that actually is biophilia. It's our innate biological connection to nature and living systems. You do not have to physically touch an animal to reap the calming benefits of its presence.
Wow, biophilia. I love that.
And beyond the blood pressure benefits, let's look at the financial health aspect, which is critical for anyone living on a fixed retirement income.
Oh, absolutely.
Bringing a dog or a cat into your home introduces massive financial unpredictability. A dog tearing its ACL or a cat developing kidney issues, that can result in a surprise $2,000 vet bill overnight.
Which can completely derail a monthly budget.
Mm-hmm.
But fish offer absolute financial predictability. You have the upfront cost of the tank and the filter, and then it's literally just pennies a day for food. There are 0 surprise emergency surgeries for a tetra.
Very true. Now, if you want something in between a fish and a dog, something you can actually hold, but that doesn't require a daily walk or a massive financial safety net, the sources point toward small mammals, like guinea pigs.
Okay, guinea pigs.
Yeah, they offer that tactile interaction. You can pet them, they vocalize and recognize their owners, but they live in a contained enclosure.
Got it.
But, the core philosophy here is to be ruthlessly honest with yourself. You have to make your choice based on your actual daily physical and financial energy right now, today, not the energy you had 10 years ago.
Right. And being honest with yourself sometimes means recognizing that living animals are simply not a safe or viable option anymore.
Yeah, that is a hard truth for many.
It is, but this is where the intersection of aging and technology becomes profoundly compassionate. We need to look at scenarios involving severe mobility limits or cases where a family is dealing with memory concerns like Alzheimer's or dementia.
Right.
In those situations, managing the care, feeding, and medication of a living creature is just no longer safe for the animal or the owner.
And this is exactly where the mission of the senior techie really comes into play.
Yeah.
Because when a living animal's off the table, the human need for companionship doesn't just disappear.
No, not at all.
The solution that the tech industry has developed for this is robotic companion pets.
Okay, now when I say robotic pet, we have to dispel the immediate image that probably jumps into most people's heads.
Yes, please.
We are not talking about a flashing, beeping plastic toy from a children's catalog that, does backflips.
No, not at all.
Huh.
Companies like Joy for All and Tombot have designed companion animals specifically for the geriatric healthcare sector.
Okay, so what are they like?
Well, these devices are covered in incredibly soft synthetic fur. They possess an internal mechanism that mimics a real heartbeat.
Oh, wow, really?
Yes. They purr with a deep, resonant vibration that you can literally feel through your hands when you stroke their backs. They are engineered to provide the exact tactile and auditory comfort of a real pet without ever needing a vet appointment, a walk, or a meal.
That is incredible. And the technology inside these companions is advancing incredibly fast, specifically regarding the use of AI or artificial intelligence.
Right.
The Tombot puppy, for example, which was developed specifically for dementia care, uses AI to make its movements incredibly lifelike. Now, because the term AI gets thrown around constantly on the news, I know it can sound intimidating or overly complex.
It sounds like science fiction sometimes.
It does. So let's define how it actually works in this specific context using a physical analogy.
Okay, I like that.
So think of standard electronics like a simple wind-up music box.
Okay, sure.
You wind it up and it just plays the exact same tune over and over, exactly the same way every time.
Right.
But AI is like a magical, responsive music box. It listens to you humming, it watches you tap your foot, and it instantly builds new gears inside itself to play a completely original song that matches your exact mood in that very moment.
Oh, that is a brilliant way to explain it.
Thanks. So in the Tombot puppy, AI isn't magic. It is simply a network of physical sensors hidden underneath the fur. When you pet the dog slowly, those sensors measure the pressure and the speed of your hand.
Okay.
They send that specific data to a small computer chip inside the robot. The algorithm on that chip analyzes your touch and triggers a small motor to wag the tail at a matching calm speed or prompts it to make a soft whining sound.
So it's reacting to you.
Exactly. It isn't just playing a recorded loop of movements. It is actively listening and adjusting how it moves based on how you interact with it in real time.
And the engineering behind that responsive mapping is exactly why these devices are being adopted so widely in memory care facilities.
Really? They're using them in facilities?
Oh, yes. We reviewed clinical trials, specifically focusing on robotic pet interventions for dementia patients. The medical benefits are highly documented.
Wow. What do the trials show?
Well, many patients with dementia experience a phenomenon called sundowning.
Right. I've heard of that.
It's a period of intense agitation, pacing, and anxiety that usually peaks in the late afternoon and evening. When nurses introduce a responsive robotic pet during these episodes, the tactile feedback of petting the fur and feeling that simulated heartbeat provides a crucial grounding focal point.
So it actually calms them down.
It does. The trials show tangible reductions in agitation and loneliness, which, amazingly, often leads to a decreased reliance on heavy sedating medications to manage that anxiety.
That is just phenomenal. But, let's talk about the emotional hurdle of this technology, because I want to ask you, the listener, a very direct question.
Okay.
Hearing about a robotic dog with sensors and motors, does that feel silly to you? Or does it feel like a relief? Because the truth is, if you survey 10 different people, you get 10 totally different answers.
Oh, absolutely.
Some folks hear robot cat and they say, absolutely not, that feels ridiculous and artificial.
Right.
But other folks hear it and say, wait, I can have something warm on my lap that purrs and I don't have to worry about tripping over a litter box in the middle of the night. Sign me up.
Exactly.
And I want to gently validate you right now. Whatever your reaction is, Both answers are perfectly fine. There is absolutely no shame in testing the waters by ordering a robotic pet just to see how it feels in your lap before committing to a living animal or before writing off the concept entirely.
Yes. Normalizing that experimentation is so crucial. We shouldn't let the stigma of technology prevent us from finding comfort.
Definitely not.
And if we look at the broader picture, technology isn't just an alternative to living pets. It is actually a really powerful tool to help you maintain a living pet for longer.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, if you do decide that a living, breathing companion is the right choice for you, technology can step in to remove a lot of the daily friction of pet ownership.
Let's look at how we can empower care through that technology, because there are tools designed to just quietly sit in the background and do the heavy lifting for you. Let's start with automatic feeders.
Oh, these are brilliant.
They really are. If your hands aren't quite as nimble for opening cans anymore, or if your memory isn't as reliable as it used to be and you worry about accidentally feeding the cat twice or forgetting entirely, these devices are lifesavers.
How do they work?
Well, I like to compare it to an hourglass.
Okay.
But instead of sand falling continuously all day, imagine a mechanical trap door that only swings open exactly when the clock strikes noon to drop a perfectly measured scoop of kibble into the bowl below.
Oh, I love that image.
Right. You only have to fill the main storage bin once a week, and the machine handles the daily precision of portion control and timing.
Which just completely removes the daily anxiety of the feeding schedule. And another major source of anxiety, particularly with dogs as we get older, and perhaps cannot physically chase after them if they bolt, is the fear of them slipping out the front door and getting lost.
Oh, that is a terrifying scenario.
It is.
But it is exactly where GPS trackers have revolutionized pet safety. These devices just clip right onto the dog or cat's collar.
Right.
And to define this simply, imagine a tiny lighthouse attached to your dog's collar. But instead of shining a beam of light across the water, it beams a continuous, invisible signal straight up to a satellite in the sky,
Okay.
which then bounces that signal down to draw a glowing dot on a digital map right in the palm of your hand on your smartphone.
That is so reassuring.
It really is. A wandering dog doesn't have to turn into a neighborhood panic anymore. It just becomes a quick retrieval mission.
Absolutely. And we also looked at pet cameras, which add another great layer of reassurance.
Yeah, the cameras are great.
Yeah, they're just small standalone lenses you place on a bookshelf or a counter, and they connect to your home Wi-Fi. If you are sitting in a doctor's waiting room for 3 hours, you could pull out your phone, tap the screen, and view a live video feed of your living room.
So you can actually see what they're doing.
Yes, you can visually confirm that your cat is safely asleep on the sofa. Many of them even have two-way audio, so you can speak to your pet and hear them bark or meow back.
That is so cool. And when you look at all of these tools, the automatic feeders, the GPS collars, the cameras, it perfectly highlights the underlying philosophy we constantly discuss here at the Senior Techie.
Which is?
None of this technology is flashy. It shouldn't force you to learn a complicated new system just for the sake of being modern.
Right. It shouldn't add stress.
Exactly. The entire point of good technology is simply to quietly remove worry. It is about giving you fewer things to stress about in your daily routine.
That is the ultimate goal. Whether it is selecting a dog breed that won't pull you over on a walk, or adopting a cat that matches your pace, setting up an aquarium to lower your blood pressure, or utilizing a robotic companion to ease the symptoms of dementia.
Right.
The focus is entirely on improving your quality of life.
So we've covered an immense amount of ground, looking at everything from the biomechanics of walking a Shih Tzu to the financial predictability of fish to the sensors inside AI puppies. What should you actually do next if you are thinking about adding a pet to your life?
That's the big question.
Before you make any decisions, I want you to sit down and be totally brutally honest about 3 things.
Okay, what are they?
Number 1, your actual daily physical energy level. Right now, today. Not on your best day, but on your average day.
Crucial.
Number 2, your physical living space. Can you safely accommodate a litter box without creating a tripping hazard?
Right.
And number 3, your financial budget for surprise vet bills. Because with a living mammal, they are an inevitability, not a possibility. Once you've assessed those 3 metrics, I highly encourage you to visit a local shelter. Don't look at the puppies. Ask the staff specifically to introduce you to their calm, older animals. Senior pets are the absolute best-kept secret in the pet adoption world.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. They're already settled, they know how to live in a home, and Honestly, their gratitude is just palpable.
It really is.
And, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over as you consider all of this research. We naturally spend so much of our time thinking about how we can take care of a pet. We worry about our stamina, our schedules, our physical limitations.
Right. We worry about providing a good life for them.
Exactly. But if we choose wisely, and if we align our choice with our actual physical reality, and if we embrace the tools available to us, the real question isn't how you will take care of the pet. The real question becomes, how much will this pet take care of you?
This podcast was brought to you by The Senior Techie. It's available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. If you'd like to receive their free newsletters, you can subscribe at subscribe.aseniortechie.com.